Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Jeff coming at you with another edition of Accelerate Flow State. And today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about a concept I'm calling belief hacking. So as we know, about 95% of the actions we take are run by our subconscious mind, our subconscious beliefs that have been implanted over the course of our lifetime, a lot of it from childhood and a lot of it that you have not resolved. And so I think that in my own path as an entrepreneur and just in personal relationships in general and in life, I mean, this is kind of my goal, is to uncover these patterns and reprogram myself so that I'm able to get past the limitations that those patterns bring to me. And then I'm able to more fully move towards and realization of the visions that I want to see for myself and for my life. And so this is sort of the concept that came to me through a podcast that I listened to. And it's really when you're at effect of your subconscious mind, you're really surrendering your control, the control of your mind over to your subconscious beliefs. And so this is really where most people struggle in life and where they struggle to reach the goals that they want to reach for themselves. And so it's really a disconnect and a disharmony between the vision that you have for yourselves and the actual belief that you have in your mind. So what's an example of that? Well, for example, if you are on a sales call and you have a bunch of subconscious patterning around sales, around reaching out to people, around having conversations, you have these things and you might sense and think on a conscious level, I don't know how to sell, or I can't connect with people, or these people are not going to value what I bring to the table. If you're saying that on the 5% of conscious level, imagine what is going on in those deeply implanted subconscious patterns that are the other 95% of how you're showing up in the world. So when we have these subconscious patterns and beliefs, they can show up in either a positive or a negative way. And the example that I just gave is obviously a negative way. But what if that belief were, what I have to sell is immensely valuable? I connect with people easily. People understand the value that I bring to the table. People listen to me when I talk. When I call somebody on the phone, they answer. Like all of these things, if those were what were implanted in your subconscious and the messages that you were sending to yourself on the conscious level match those and harmonize with those, imagine the power of what that could bring to the way that you show up in the world. And ultimately, whichever way you go, either from a positive standpoint or a negative standpoint, the people around you, the world around you, the reality around you is going to show up to match that energetic resonance that you're putting out there. And you'll see that more and more, because if you are coming at it from this positive kind of frame of mind, you'll see that you will set more boundaries for yourself. You'll set more boundaries for the people around you. You'll set more boundaries for the conversation that you have, and you'll waste your time less. You'll automatically fall into the pattern of getting further faster, of not messing around with people who you know are not going to show up. That's like a comfort zone. When you're approaching these limitations in your subconscious and conscious mentality, it's easy to fall back into those patterns because that's your comfort zone. That's what feels most comforting to you and most common to you. So it's like you will not push past those limitations until you take a coordinated conscious effort to reprogram. So how do you do this? One way that I've done it over the course of many years is through a lot of the health practices that I have. Like, I'm a very physical person, so when I reprogram, I tend to do it in a very physical way. And I've done that through, like, people do ice baths. You see them on Instagram all the time. I don't put my stuff on Instagram, but I ice bath 5 to 6 times a week. And when I'm doing that, I'm usually putting it's like a state change for me. It's an emotional physiological state change when I'm doing any of these practices. And so if I can do that state change and put myself into a feeling of gratitude, a feeling of success, a feeling of completion, a feeling of achievement, of having that vision fulfilled that I'm trying to bring forth in the world, then I'm kind of anchoring that in through these, relatively hardcore physical practices or whatever. But that's how I leverage the physiological effects of that state change and anchor it in so that I continue to resonate in that frequency after the practice is done, and when I go into my day and business and I'm actually making these phone calls or having these conversations with people. So that's kind of the way I do it. There's a whole bunch of different ways that you can reprogram your subconscious mind through auto suggestion. You can make tapes of yourself speaking these things in real time through your own voice and listen to them over and over, like positive, sort of like affirmations, but more than just affirmations of being like, it's like a pump job. You're just like hyping yourself up or something like that. Sometimes you have to do that, and that's a first step, I think. But I said before, like with my process, the way I realized it in, after doing a bunch of work, it's like first you have to be able to say it out loud. And then you have to be able to believe it. You really believe that that's true, but that's only half of it. The rest of it is you have to become it. And becoming it is really when you start to see the changes in the reality around you, because you don't really have to think about it anymore. That's just who you are. You have become it. And the world around you will reorganize and reorient towards that new version of you and that new attitude that you have and that you're bringing forth into the world. And you'll start to see those things manifest in real time. And for me, that's what I consider to be like manifestation. And they say law of attraction. It's like, well, if you just think it, like I say, if you just think it, it's not going to get you anywhere. If you're just thinking, you have to start to believe it, and then you have to actually become it. So I think that in this belief hacking kind of a scenario, it's actually digging into that particular process, coming up against those limitations time and time again. And what they say is transmuting those limitations into the new version of what you believe is possible for yourself and what you believe that you are in the moment, and resonating that in real time. So I hope this helps kind of unpack kind of what all of this stuff is and what it means and what the possibilities are. I mean, think of the possibilities if you can actually create a process for yourself where you're taking these steps and becoming that person that you desire to be, so that you can bring that vision forth into the world. This is the work, in my opinion. This is the journey of a lifetime, is continuously up-leveling that mindset, continuously up-leveling the subconscious beliefs that you have, so that they're more and more positive, they're more and more specifically directed towards your vision, and you're leveraging them into creating the future that you want to see for yourself. So I hope this helps, and I'd love to see your comments in the comment section, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Peace.